my shoes and out the door. 5, I'm alive. 6, 7, 8, feeling great.
Hello, BYWG Podcast Tribe. This is Dr. Noah. For the month of September, we have an incredible book of the month and product of the month, or should I say products of the month, to share with you all. As a reminder, all the links for the book and product of the month will be listed in the show notes in iTunes, in our weekly newsletter, and on our website at www.beyondyourwildestgenes.com at the Listen Now tab. Our book of the month is Ketotarian, the mostly plant-based plan to burn fat, boost your energy, crush your cravings, and calm inflammation, by Dr. Will Cole. Dr. Cole has been on the podcast twice, and you can find his interviews at www.beyondyourwildestgenes.com in the archives at the Listen Now tab. The product of the month is the entire line of Primal Kitchen condiments, foods, and nutritional products. All Primal Kitchen ingredients are selected according to the strictest standards of taste, natural healthfulness, and phytonutrient potency. Some of my personal favorites are the chipotle mayonnaise and the lemon turmeric salad dressing. Enjoy free shipping on all orders of $50 or more and 10% off your order using our special code for our audience, BYWG. Enjoy the upcoming podcast.
Hello and welcome back to Beyond Your Wildest Genes podcast. My name is Dr. Noah DeCoyer and I am your co-host. Today I'm very excited to invite fellow chiropractor Dr. Todd Sinett on the podcast. We love to interview people that are releasing new books, so I'm super excited for today's podcast. How are you today?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me.
Good. Let me do your bio and then we'll dive right in. Dr. Todd is a pain expert and chiropractor. In his best-selling series of books, including 3 Weeks to a Better Back, he has introduced the Sinett Solution, the practice of listening to the whole body and treating all sources of back pain on the structural, digestive, and emotional levels, what he calls the triad of health. He is a recognized authority in applied kinesiology and has served as clinical expert for many TV programs, including The View, FoxMD, Good Day New York, and many others. Dr. Sinett has been a lecturer on MSNBC and at the Learning Annex, and has been featured in countless health and fitness publications. All right, that's a great intro. That's a great bio, Dr. Sinett. How about a little bit, the first time we interview anybody for the podcast, the first question is always, how about a little bit of your backstory? Familiarize yourself with our audience.
Sure. So I'm a second-generation chiropractor. My father was a chiropractor before there was even license of chiropractors or even before anyone knew what a chiropractor was. And he wound up having this really amazing, unique, concerning experience with his low back that led a unique path that really helped many, many people. I'm honored and happy to join him on that unique path as well. So it's a little bit of a calling for me to be able to speak with you and discuss helping people with their back pain.
Cool. So, Dr. Sinett, I want to read something to you, and then I want you to comment. I think it was in your book, so it should be really easy for you. And it's nearly 85% of us will suffer from debilitating back pain at some time in our lives. It has become the number one reason for disability claims, the number 2 reason for visits to the doctor, and the number 3 reason for surgery in the U.S. When you hear something like this, what comes to mind?
Yes, well, when you hear these stats, right, the general consensus is that people are looking at back pain is an inevitable issue, that everyone's just going to suffer from back pain and it's a normal occurrence with aging. And I don't see that at all. What I see is that we're blowing it. We're missing it. We're screwing it up. We're missing the picture. We're not understanding the reason why people are having back pain, and we're not understanding the true causes and subsequently the true solutions for back pain. So I'm here to tell you, unfortunately, we're failing you people. So that's what I see.
Right. So the tagline in your book, or your new book being released in October, The Back Pain Diet, the undiscovered key to reducing inflammation and eliminating pain. So I have to ask, what is the undiscovered key?
Yeah, the undiscovered key is that your diet could be the cause of your back pain, and subsequently your diet can be the solution of your back pain. So whether you're eating an unhealthy diet or a healthy diet, either way, that could be the cause of your back pain.
And how about outlining the basics for your plan? Like I'm sure there's a lot of, like you've mentioned the triad in your bio, but what is the outline of this plan?
Right. So to me, back pain really comes from inflammation, right? So inflammation essentially comes from three different sources. You can have structural inflammation, such as coming from muscle, bone, nerves. You can have emotional inflammation from stress and being so uptight. And then you can have nutrition and digestive inflammation. So anything that can upset your digestive system or your stomach can then subsequently reflex and affect your muscular system, i.e. your back. So what's happening is, what are doctors prescribing? What are medical doctors prescribing when someone has severe back pain? They're prescribing anti-inflammatories, right? So the question that I ask is, if doctors are prescribing anti-inflammatories for your back pain, what happens if we gave you, or we figured out an anti-inflammatory diet to correct your back? Would it work the same? And the answer is yes. Yes, it would.
So what are you proposing people eat then? And what is your idea of an anti-inflammatory diet?
Okay. So the interesting thing is that the answer is unique for every individual. So for some, right, for I guess the general consensus of the population, we're looking at unhealthy foods. So we're looking at the simple carbohydrates, the coffee, the sugars, the alcohol, the pastas, the pizzas, the sweets. And that can create cortisol levels in the body, raise inflammation in the body, and then subsequently create back pain. However, I've also seen a patient population that are eating foods that are creating inflammation that's unique to them. So we have people who are gluten sensitive and they're having gluten, and that creates a lot of inflammation. Or people who are sensitive to dairy. But then you're also having people who are repeating the same foods over and over again, and that's subsequently creating inflammation again. So too many salads, too many green drinks, too many protein bars. We really have to figure out how to cut down on the inflammation from our gut, and then subsequently can rid ourselves of our back pain. So the answer is, it really can almost be anything.
And is there a way to kind of streamline what a person, is it just a simple dietary lock to see what their problem is? Is it testing? Like how do we figure out?
The first step is, in the book, I have something called a digestive inflammation test. And what that's going to do is see if you, me and the reader, think that your back pain is caused by some digestive upset. So it's asking you questions about your bowel movements, if you changed your diet, if you're frequently eating tons of salads, if you're drinking more than 2 cups of coffee in a day. So the first thing we want to do is see if the likelihood that your back pain is digestive in nature first. And then if we feel as if that we feel like their back pain or suffering is due to digestion inflammation, then we have a diagnostic nutrition test in the book. And what that does, it takes you through a series of questions, and these are questions that I would ask a patient throughout the office, and to try and figure out what may be the right diet or right solution for that individual person. So we have 4 different diets that are to different people based on what their current diet is and based on their current symptoms. And we're able to kind of slot them into which diet we think they should try and see how they feel. And then the great thing is that you try a diet, within 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to have your answers. So if your back pain is diet related, it's the simplest thing to fix. And we're going to know it in probably 2 to 3, not 4 weeks max. So, I really urge anyone who's suffering from back pain, before they undergo any significant or invasive tests or procedures, to really make sure to rule out diet as the cause for your back pain.
I totally agree. You mentioned gluten. Are there any, what you see more on a regular basis, real culprits? What are the big culprits?
Okay. Again, the big culprits are what I would almost deem the unhealthy diets, right? So you have people having the coffee, the bagel, the roll, the chips, the soda, the pizza, the pasta, the wine, and the dessert. So, that's a common factor. And now what we're seeing a lot of people on the other side are having these superfoods. So people are almost having too much roughage. So they're having large salads every day. They're having green drinks. They're having smoothies. They're having protein bars. Almost too much roughage. Back pain. So there's almost two categories. There's the people who are having the healthy foods that you would expect, and then the category of people you would think you wouldn't expect it from, who are just having a lot of repeatable patterns of too much roughage.
Yeah, so how do you deal with a patient that thinks, and by all accounts are eating a quote unquote good diet, but they're literally eating too much, like you said, too much fiber, too much insoluble fiber, too much soluble fiber. How do you approach that patient?
Yeah, again, that's why we did the digestive inflammation test at the beginning of the book, to see if you are a candidate or you would get good results by changing diet. So those in that digestive inflammation test, we're asking you, are you having more than 4 salads in a day? 4 salads in a week? Are you frequently having smoothies or green drinks? Are you having a lot of oatmeal for breakfast? Are you repeating the same foods over and over again? So we're also targeting questions to that population to see if it resonates.
Right. So it seems to me a nutrient diversity is important in your plan too. Not eating the same things over and over and over again.
I would say eating the same foods over and over again, in my opinion, is just as unhealthy as eating unhealthy foods. So variety is vital. So I always tell patients we need 3 different types of breakfasts, 3 different types of lunches, and 3 different types of dinners. Someone who's having Greek yogurt and fruit every day for breakfast is really not a great approach. Your body digests different foods in different locations. So if you're having a carbohydrate-rich meal, digestion process is happening in the small intestine. And then if you're having protein-rich meal, it's more in the large intestine. You need a variety of foods because all foods have different components, different nutrients. Chicken is very different than fish. Broccoli is very different than lettuce. You need to mix it up.
That's a great point. Very few people have talked about that in that way, and I totally agree with you. Eating a wide variety of foods is it really important, and switching your proteins. Not eating. There's too many people out there eating just chicken and guacamole every single day. There's too many.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's not healthy.
No, it's not. There's not enough. You're not getting the full complement of amino acids and minerals, vitamins, micronutrients, phytonutrients. I couldn't agree more, and fantastic point. How do you address people's the emotional component or the standard chiropractic structural subluxation, nerve irritation component as well?
Sure. So, again, my approach at the Sinett Solution is taking a look at all 3 areas. I will frequently tell a patient, you can't be 2/3 healthy. So we need balance in all 3 of these areas. If you have balance in the structural aspect, the emotional aspect, and the digestive aspect, you'll be free of your back pain and suffering from back pain. So when it comes for a structural approach, I really take a whole body approach. I'm looking for people from head to toe. And I've actually discovered a commonality with back pain. And that known as basically having too much forward hunch, or called flexion. And that's because we're all sitting forward all day in front of our computers and our cars and our commute, looking down at our smartphones and texting and all that stuff. So I have a product called the back bridge. And what that does is that provides progressive extension into one's spine. So it's something that you lay over a couple minutes in the morning and call your forward hunch within your body. I would say the emotions are, which is actually that stress is the number 1 factor when it comes to back pain. So emotions are 2 things. Emotions are psychological, but it's also physiological. So if you have a dream that a monster is chasing you, and you wake up and your heart's racing and your pulse is pounding, well, your body reacts as if a monster chased you. So you really want to make sure that your emotions are in check as much as possible, and you want to do everything you can to release the stress, because all of these 3 aspects are very much interwoven and interrelated. So just from the eating component, there's a very big different biochemical digestive process if you're eating a hot fudge sundae when you're celebrating as opposed to when you're eating a hot fudge sundae when you're depressed. Or the other example I will give is someone who will go wildly off their normally regimented diet on vacation. But if they did that in their normal environment, they'd have a lot of digestive issues. So all 3 of these components are very much interlinked.
It's funny you mentioned your product, the back bridge. The afternoon. Well, we set up this interview one morning about 3 weeks ago. that very afternoon, a really good friend of mine sent me the Backbridge information and your information and said, do you know this guy? Is this product for real? And it was so funny because I was like, well, you know what? Amazingly, I just set up an interview with Dr. Todd, and I'm going to get to know him pretty well in a couple weeks. And I checked out the product. I agree with you totally. Flexion is a horrendous issue for not only older individuals but young individuals because of computers and texting and phones and all that kind of craziness. That flexion is becoming a severe problem, and that's why one of the reasons why I consistently suggest exercises like yoga and stuff that really focus on the extension of the spine. So I really like and agree with your idea and your product.
Thank you. You know, the key extension is progressive, right? So you can't just keep doing the same stretch over and over again. Better and better results. So what happens is it comes with 5 different levels, and every month or so a patient will progress through different levels. I kind of call it the Invisalign for the spine because you essentially want to shift someone's forward posture back to upright or more extension of the body.
Great. And where can people get that or even investigate that product more if they're interested or worried about their forward posture?
Yeah, it's at backbridge.com. It's also available on Amazon.
It is. Cool. That's great to know. Anything else in your book that our listening audience may want to know, need to know, some reason why they should really go out and purchase the book?
I mean, you can go out and purchase the book, which would be wonderful. That it's really important to try to change your diet. Very few people are aware of the connection between the two. And it really can, this book or this information can really be the difference of whether you're suffering from severe, if you're just dealing with a tight, nagging back, or if you're living around your back pain, even if you're seeing a chiropractor or physical therapist, this really could be kind of the missing link for you. So it's really important to try. I have 10 principles, so I'm just taking a look at them. Again, that your diet could be causing your back pain. Regardless of your symptoms, you could be having severe, what people will diagnose as severe blown out disc or severe sciatica. That pain can be coming. Let's see. Also, I would say that you really want to pay attention to your bowel movements. The quality of your digestive system is evaluated based on the quality of your bowel movements. So if you're not having good, healthy bowel movements, there's something wrong with your digestive system, regardless of what you're eating. And then again, the premise that you really need to mix up your food is really very, very important.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. The bagel for breakfast, the sandwich for lunch, and the pasta for dinner, that time has come. It's got to stop.
Agreed. But also keep in mind, I feel the same way about the green smoothie for the green drink for breakfast, the large salad or kale for lunch, and I don't know, I've come up with a dinner that's irritating. But, I want people to be mindful of that as well.
Yeah, I agree. I know for me personally, I cannot eat that much green foods in one day. I have to mix it up with things like sweet potatoes and plantains, sometimes a little bit of rice, some soups, carrots, I'm trying, avocados, but I have to mix it up. I just cannot do salad after salad. It's just not good for my digestive system. It's too harsh for me.
I really had a little bit of a revelation when, as a New Year's resolution, I decided I was going to really clean up my diet. I don't drink coffee or alcohol, but I felt like I was just going to get it cleaner. So I decided I was going to have oatmeal every breakfast, a salad for lunch, and a lean protein for dinner. And within days, everything changed in my body, but amazingly so, it all changed for the worse. I was achy, lethargic, I was bloated, my neck, I woke up with a stiff neck, and all that was because of my diet. And when I changed back to having whole grain peanut butter on bread, when I went to having broiled chicken and sweet potatoes and foods that were not so, gaseous in nature, health return back to its normal state. So we just listen to our bodies is really the best news I can tell you.
I agree. Now, I have one final question for you, and it's a question I ask at the end of every interview to every guest. And Dr. Sinett, what is your daily rhythm from, waking to sleep?
Mm-hmm. What's my daily rhythm?
Yes. Yes, like what is your rhythm?
Yes, so my rhythm is I wake up in the morning because I commute to New York City. I go to the gym from about 5:30 to 6, doing some light weights. From 6 to 6:30, I do some stretching. I lay on my back ridge. I do some meditative breathing, and then from 6:30 about 2-ish, I'm happily helping some patients with their health. Then I'll head home, have a light meal, and get a good night's sleep. Do it all over again.
Pretty simple and straightforward.
Exactly.
All right, Doc. We're gonna have all the links to the book in the show notes. So people will be able to find your book pretty readily, and your information for the back bridge as well. How else can our audience, or what's the best way for our audience to get in touch with you?
My website is drsinett.com, so it's drsinett.com. And I guess that would probably be the best way to, it tells you about my products, my books, my practice, which is in Midtown Manhattan, New York City. You can be able to help with somebody.
That's great. And I'm sure there's people listening that live in New York City and that are looking for a fantastic chiropractor that can help them with their health. On top of, checking out your books, all your books and your products as well. So thank you very much for being on today. We really, really appreciate it.
I feel the same way. Thank you so very much.
Okay. My name is Dr. Noah DeCoyer, your co-host, and you're listening to the Beyond Your Wildest Genes podcast. If you'd like what you've heard today, please share this with your friends and family and encourage them to subscribe on iTunes. Leaving a review and ratings on iTunes will help us move up the charts and help more people find us. You can subscribe to our weekly email at www.beyondyourwildestgenes.com. Thank you, and as my oldest son Hayden says, be awesome and never unawesome.
1, 2, 3, 4, get my shoes and out the door. 5, I'm alive. 6, 7, 8, feeling great.